Why nobody eats normally anymore. Most people feel like eating in a normal way, being a normal eater, is something that is easy. I mean, I would agree that intuitively it's what you would think. However, that is not the case. Eating has become super stressful. There are all these rules in order to eat right. You also have to impress people with the way you're eating. It's not just about you. You also have to listen to all these exterior factors and guidelines, and it's completely overwhelming. And nobody is able to just eat normally anymore. I made a video a while back on how to be a normal eater. If you want to watch that, you can start there. But this video has a different angle, a different approach to it, and I think it's gonna be very useful. Number one, it's because it's not about eating anymore, it's about performing. Somewhere along the way, eating became less of a biological need that everybody had to do. In a way, that's obviously more or less enjoyable, but still the point is to feed yourself. And it became more of a performance, of a way to prove how pretty the meals you make could look, how good you could cook, how balanced they could be, how little or how much you could eat. It all became performance. It's really hard to focus on eating meals that are just balanced, simple, and just make you feel good when you always feel this pressure for things to be perfect, both in the nutritional aspect and also in the visual aspect. Meals are judged. Meals are analyzed. Meals are compared to one another because of social media, and also not just in social media, in real life as well. If you're eating something, somebody's commenting on it, somebody is comparing that meal to their meal, your meal to their meal. And not only is there a visual aspect, like your meal has to look good, your meal also has to be healthy, your meal has to be clean, has to be like local, organic, whatever. There's just like so many boxes that your meal has to check in order to be good enough. It's always about more, like your meals have to be even healthier or even bigger or even more complicated to make with weird ingredients that are impossible to find. It's just impossible to keep up. And as a nutrition content creator, I get criticized for my meals all the time. People will say they don't look appetizing, they're not that balanced, it's either too little or too much. But let me tell you, I am super happy with my meals. Honestly, I feel that they are appetizing enough for me, and they're delicious, they're balanced, and they are good enough. And that's all that you need to be focusing on. So a solution for that is, instead of aiming for the perfect meal everybody's gonna envy you for, everybody's gonna claim you for, and trying to hit every single thing, just aim for good enough. Now, here I am reheating my good enough meal. Reheating is the first aspect. I mean, I'm not making this fresh every single day. I made this yesterday. I made enough so that I have some today, and that way it's easy. Now, it also means that it's not gonna taste as good, as fresh, or look as pretty, but we don't care. So we have good enough nutrients. We're having lentils, and we're having coconut cream and curry in the lentils, and then we're having rice. It's white rice. That's fine. I'm gonna reheat that for a sec. And then I'm gonna add my avocado to it, which, doesn't look as appetizing as yesterday, and I didn't cut it up that well, but it's fine. And here we have it. Is the presentation perfect? No, but is this going to taste good, and is this going to fuel me with a bunch of nutrients I need? Yes. Number two, your body isn't actually silent and not giving you signs. It's just that you've been trained to ignore it. Most people think that they have no hunger cues and that they have to force themselves to eat to follow a schedule, or else they just will either always be hungry or just never be hungry, but that is not true. You have hunger cues. They are just completely under all of the stress and overstimulation and food noise and constant rules everywhere. And you just need to learn to reconnect. with them. You need to think about the way that you currently eat and the way that you approach hunger. So if you're constantly overstimulated, constantly busy, chances are once you start being hungry, you're actually going to be like in a meeting or dealing with your kids or replying to emails. And so it's going to be complicated for you to actually listen to those cues when they come up. And if you look at the way that you are eating the meals, likely you're eating meals on your phone or distracted with a bunch of other people running around, or you're eating as you're making the meal, like standing up in your kitchen, or you're eating as you're watching a movie. And those are not situations where you're going to have the ability to truly listen to what your body is telling you. It's just impossible, and it's normal. You are not meant to be doing all of these things at once. And then if on top of that you add the external rules like your work rules and caring for your kids and having to follow their schedules and all of this, then it's really normal that you're having trouble eating when you're actually hungry, stopping when you're full, listening to your cravings, and doing any of that. And again, that is a huge issue because these things can be prioritized. It's just that you choose not to. It is possible that you arrange your day in a way that at least one of your meals you can be present for. You can tune into your hunger cues. You can learn to eat mindfully. So it's this real work we have to do about shifting priorities and understanding the importance of being mindful when you eat and of prioritizing your meals. You cannot expect something to change in the way that you're eating and in your relationship with food if you're not willing to spend 20 minutes on focusing on your meals.
The solution is that you need to be having at least one mindful meal a day. I mean, okay, if that's too hard, you can start with a couple a week. When I say that the meal should be mindful, it means that you need to take a moment before the meal to ask yourself how hungry you actually are, rate yourself on the hunger fullness scale. Also be in tune with your cravings to see what you want to eat, if what you have planned is something that sounds good, and if you're excited about eating it. It means that when you do eat your meal, you need to be focused on just your meal. So you need to be sitting down at a table with proper utensils, whichever utensils you prefer, and you need to be able to take at least 20 minutes where you're dedicated to eating, really focusing, putting down your utensils every once in a while to take a break. Every bite you take, focus on the flavors, the textures, the taste, and then do that until you feel like you are full and satisfied, and then stop. People just underestimate the importance of this so much. I would say it's one of the factors that brings the most change. Choose this as something to prioritize. You will not be disappointed.
Number 3, you think that you're overeating, but actually you're underfueled. This is a huge problem I see with a lot of my clients who think that their main issue is overeating, when actually they are undereating during certain periods, and then that is leading to the overeating periods. But the initial problem is that they are undereating to begin with. If you're skipping breakfast, if you're eating a salad for lunch, you're still going to be able to use your willpower. It's the beginning of the day, you have energy, you're maybe at work, you're stressed, you have other things that are going on, and so it's going to be easier for you to just not listen to your body and eat a little bit. But then what happens is you come home and you are stressed and you are emotionally tired and you want to indulge in a little snack. And then that little snack turns into multiple snacks. And then dinner happens and you're tired, you're lazy, you don't want to cook a big home cooked meal. So you just order pizza. And then you have ice cream after that because you feel bad about yourself for everything you ate. And you tell yourself, you'll just start over. Now, even if the reason why you're gaining weight is that overeating that's happening, it would not happen if you were not undereating to begin with. Because when you're underfueled like this, it becomes impossible to actually make conscious good decisions about nutrition. You just become desperate. It's biology. You're just going to become desperate to eat whatever you can get your hands on, preferably something where you can get quick energy and it doesn't take too long to digest. So you're not going to be craving a big salad with a bunch of nutrients. And the huge problem with this is that the cycle is so difficult to break out of, because when you see yourself overeating like that, you're going to try to undereat even more to solve it. You're going to start banning carbs, and you're going to start banning fats, and you are going to start intermittent fasting and skipping meals and having meals that are under like 300 calories. And you're going to do all of that, and it's only going to backfire with more overeating.
The solution is that you need to create 2 to 3 meals that are healthy, balanced, that you enjoy, and have these meals on repeat. Scroll through Pinterest, you will find delicious recipes. Find some that aren't too difficult, or the ones that your friends make, your parents make, whatever, that you like, that are tried and improved. It's so important that you create this rotation, this meal rotation for yourself, so you're not having to use brain power for every single meal. You at least have 2 to 3 meals where you know, like, these are balanced ingredients, healthy, makes me feel good, I can make it pretty easily, and you have those options.
Number 4, it's not discipline that you are missing, but it is structure. Eating meals that are balanced and healthy and satisfying is just one piece of the puzzle. You also need to have structure and consistency with those meals, or else it is not going to work. The problem is that people think that consistency only applies to, oh, the meals have to be healthy and that's it. That's part of it, and it's already really good if you're able to have healthy meals. But if your structure is totally off, let's say you're having a full breakfast one day at 6 and then nothing until like 2 p.m. And then the next day you skip breakfast, you don't have time. And the next day you do a brunch and then you just eat like 2 hours later because you're hungry. And there's just no structure for anything. Your body is not going to be able to settle with that, and it's going to be much easier for you to skip meals, and you're also going to start grazing because you're going to be hungry, and everything is just going to be much more complicated than if you were to have set times where you have your consistent meals.
The solution is that you are going to set yourself meal time windows, meal windows, and you are going to give yourself, let's say, 1 hour, maximum 2 hours to eat. So I'm not saying you have to be super rigid about it and it has to be every morning at 6, and if it's 6:01 then it's not working. But you have to give yourself a window, again, around an hour, and you tell yourself that you have to eat within that window. You have to. Let's say you give yourself a time window of having to have your lunch between 11:30 and 1. Let's say 1 p.m. So what you're gonna do, you're gonna set a little alarm at 11:30, and then you're gonna set another alarm at 1. And when your first alarm goes off, that's your first sign. That's your first signal. You ask yourself, okay, am I hungry? Am I willing to eat now? And if not, you have to make a plan. You can't just say, nope, you have to eat within the window. So it's like, okay, I'm not hungry now. Will I be hungry in 30 minutes? I need to start prepping my food. I need to start doing this. Like, something needs to happen. And you need to make sure that this happens before your other timer goes off. The time window is really good because it's more realistic than having a set time where you eat every single day. However, if set times work better for you, then by all means do that.
And number 5, we're using food as a way to fill the gaps in our lives instead of just our stomachs. For sure, emotional eating is a struggle for a lot of people. But instead of focusing on seeing it like an issue to be solved, try seeing it as a signal. I mean that if you feel like you cannot control your emotional eating, it's just completely overpowering you and there's nothing you can do but eat in that moment. If you have huge emotions, then that is a sign that you are not properly regulating your emotions and that you are turning to food because it's the only way you know how. It's the only way you're used to dealing with the emotions, but definitely a sign that you need to learn to cope with those emotions in other ways. When you're overwhelmed, when you're bored, when you're stressed, when you're lonely, when you're tired, when you're sad, food is right there. It's easy. You don't have to think about anything. You don't have to think about different options. You just eat your food and immediately you get some relief. And that's because if you're used to it, it's a very, very common pathway in your mind and your brain. And therefore, it's going to bring you this immediate dopamine, immediate comfortable feeling. And then every time you do it, you're reinforcing that pathway. So of course, you're going to keep on doing it.
And the solution to that is that you need to start building an activity list. You need to take your phone or a journal, whatever, and you need to start writing down all of the things you like to do. And they can be pretty simple things like reading a book or like listening to music or like having a nice, relaxing spa day. This smells super good, where you take care of yourself. And then you need to start turning to that list every time you have an emotional experience where you would have turned to food. You at least need to try one of these activities on the list before you can have your food for emotional support. Like, it's okay if you end up doing the food, but at least try one of the things. And again, you need to get really thorough with your activity list. There should be a bunch of stuff on there. You really need to think it through, because so many people think that they know the activity options, but you don't. You really don't, especially when you're dealing with an emotional period. And try at least one thing, even if it's only listening to a 30-minute song. Once you're done, it's okay, you can eat, but at least you're training your brain not to go through that pathway immediately, like the immediate food reward. So, final thoughts. Healthy eating is not about being perfect and disciplined and having the best willpower ever. It's about consistency, structure, proper nourishment, proper emotional support, and listening to your body over all the noise that is out there when it comes to food. That's it for this video. I really hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to like it and subscribe, and see you on my next one. Bye.